Alpine has had a very turbulent weekend in Brazil, and although they capitalized on both McLarens retiring, it's safe to say that the chemistry is at its lowest point at this moment. One huge factor in that is Ocon's racing attitude towards Alonso, who has also been at fault for some of the incidents that have happened between them. Nevertheless, the situation stands as it is, and it's far from perfect in the Alpine garage as they are headed to the last race with Ocon and Alonso being teammates. But what Alonso had to say about Ocon and the Frenchman's behavior won't be liked by the team, as they do have a 19-point advantage they need to hold ahead of the last GP for the P4 spot in the Constructors' Championship. The Alpine garage is probably the most awkward place you'd want to be right now, just next to the Red Bull one after the Brazilian GP. However, the Alpine garage is something that has been labeled as a tense place throughout the whole season, and that's something that's not going in the favor of the team and the executives after they've faced a lot of drama and backlash for letting go of Alain Prost as their non-executive director. It goes without saying that Ocon and Alonso were very fierce in battling each other in 2022, and they came very close to crashing on a couple of occasions. Ocon also pushed Alonso to the wall and didn't give him enough room in Jeddah, despite the fact that the Spaniard was clearly faster and the team needed more points from that weekend. In Budapest, similar things happened on two occasions. The first one was right at the start of the race, where Ocon defended very aggressively against Alonso, and the Spaniard said right on the radio, "If this wasn't Ocon, I don't know how I would have reacted." The second occasion was when Ocon exited the pit lane and refused to give the position to Alonso without a fight. But while both of them were fighting, Ricciardo managed to pass them at one corner, which made them a bit of a laughingstock on the internet, even though they were able to retrieve their positions. So the latest blunder was in Brazil, and yet again it occurred on two occasions. The first one was on the sprint race, where both Alpine cars touched, with Alonso losing his front wing and Ocon having a bit of a damage to the side pod of his car, which caused him to lose downforce. Effectively, Alonso was handed a 5-second penalty for the incident on the main straight due to the fact that he wasn't able to move on the right and complete a clear overtake. Instead of gathering valuable points, both Alpine drivers lost the points and started P16 and P17 on the grid. But before they finished P5 and P8, with the Spaniard having a better weekend, they had to be instructed to not fight yet again after the second safety car restart. This is something that didn't sit well with Ocon or with Alonso, who had a lot to say about his teammate after the sprint race. What didn't sit right with the Spaniard is the fact that he was also handled 2 points on his license, meaning he is now closer to a race ban. When talking about the sprint race and the outcome of it, Alonso said, "It was sad, but the pace of the car was very good today. We recovered to P15, so if we keep going at this rate tomorrow, I think we're going to still score 2 points. So let's hope for that. Obviously, it is one more race until it is over, so I am looking forward to Abu Dhabi. I nearly went onto the wall in Jeddah. I remember also in Budapest and now today, so nothing to talk about. So it's the way these things are. Sometimes it's very competitive inside the team. It happened to him, Ocon, with Perez, with Verstappen here unlapping himself in 2018, so it's one more race." It's very obvious that Alonso wants to leave the team due to the fact that they didn't really treat him with respect when offering him a seat for the 2023 season. That is why Alonso left, and it is also why he did not bother to notify his team, as Safnauer stated that he learned of Alonso's departure through social media. Nonetheless, the team's grief over Piastri's departure was far greater than that of Alonso's. Ocon also had a lot to say about Alonso and the incident during the sprint race, as he added, "It was obviously not the way we wanted to finish this race, and I got damage on my car. So, not the ideal situation for the team, obviously. I was trying to attack the McLaren into turn 4 and focusing on them. I was on the inside, and then Fernando came on the outside, and that was quite unexpected." But it goes without saying that Ocon and Alonso's actions have really aggravated their principal, Otmar Safnauer, who had a lot to say about this matter. He was very angry with how both drivers handled a situation that should have been handled much better, as they both acted like kids. When talking about the sprint race outcome, Safnauer said, "Frankly, both Esteban and Fernando must do a better job to complement the fantastic efforts of everyone in the team by avoiding on-track incidents and compromising the entire team's performance. Today, both drivers have let the team down. I expect more from them tomorrow, where we must do everything we can to recover some points from the weekend for the championship. We aim to ensure we go to Abu Dhabi next weekend in a position where we can reach our season goals. Tomorrow is a new day." What's more interesting is that both Alpine drivers came dangerously close to crashing again during the main race event, or would have if it hadn't been for the Ocon's engineer. During the second safety car restart, Ocon was in P9 and Alonso was in P10, but the Spaniard was on a fresh set of soft tires. Therefore, with a tire advantage, Ocon was instructed to let go of the Spaniard, as his engineer said, "Fernando has the tire advantage on us. Let's not focus on him. Let's make sure we concentrate on beating Vettel eventually. Let's make sure we let him through nice and clean, please. If you can confirm that, please as well." But to this, Ocon said, "Let me race. At the right moment I will, once the situation is settled a bit more. We can lose everything now also at the restart." The engineer has urged again that he doesn't want Esteban to be racing Alonso, as the Frenchman said that his main goal is to pass Vettel, who is ahead of him at this point. So confirmation from Ocon's engineer was given, but when Vettel's passing was complete, Ocon was supposed to let go of Alonso ahead. And that is exactly what happened, but Ocon was very angry as to how the team had treated him in this situation, telling him what he needed to do. When talking about this specific situation after the race, the Frenchman said, "I think it's been not very well translated, because people thought I didn't want to let Fernando pass. I said, no, I don't let him pass at the restart. I'm going to pass Seb, and then once the situation is settled, we will figure that out. I'm not going to fight, I'm going to let him go. And that's what I did. I couldn't have held them. He was very fast on the soft tire, and obviously there were points for the whole team to grab. So I knew I was in a situation, and the team didn't need to tell me what to do." It goes without saying that Ocon needs to be a bit more competitive or not fight at all when you don't have the right machinery in your hands. Gasly won't be so gentle with words or actions starting next season, because the now Alpha Tauri driver is looking for a chance to prove himself over a long career in the sport. Alonso, for his part, would have to be cautious with his words, given that his boss's son will be his teammate for the next 3 years, beginning in 2023. It's an interesting period ahead for the Alpine drivers, who are headed into their last race as teammates. It was also a good weekend for them, as they managed to extend the lead over McLaren and now enjoy a comfortable 19-point lead ahead of the last race in Abu Dhabi. Still, everything is far from over, and we are yet to see how the fight for P4 in the Constructors' Championship will unwind. What do you think about Alpine and their drivers? Let us know in the comments below.